About once a month, I get asked a question, and it takes me 15 minutes to answer this question, and I'm sick of answering it. So usually when I answer the question, the person is like, oh, that makes sense, but it takes us 15 minutes to get there. So I am going to answer this one more time, and then I'm going to put this video on YouTube, and anytime someone asks me in the future, I'm just going to give them the link to the video. So the question is, when is Guild Wars 3? And my answer is, I don't think we're ever really getting a Guild Wars 3. If we did, I would be very surprised. And there's many reasons for that. First of all, with what developers? Like, they have, compared to like World of Warcraft or Final Fantasy 14, compared to many other MMOs, they have so few developers. Like, they didn't even have enough to have people working on PvP and World v World for like the last 3 or 4 years, while also pushing out Living World, okay? They have like they got like 5 devs in a room with like, infinite caffeine. That's it. That's all they've got. It's a crazy small team compared to most companies. Like, with what developers are they cranking out Guild Wars 3? So I don't see how they've got the manpower to possibly do that. I mean, yeah, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Okay, whatever. But I don't think that's going to happen. Secondly, if they announced Guild Wars 3, they would be shooting themselves in the foot so hard they'd be blasting their leg clean off. Now, what do I mean by that? I used to play EverQuest. Once upon a time, they announced, we're coming out with EverQuest 2. A whole bunch of their players are like, oh, well, why should I keep playing this if the sequel's about to come out? And their player base went into the dumpster. Like, overnight, when they announced the sequel, the player base for EQ1 tanked. It tanked because everyone thought there's no point. Like, what's the point in continuing? Now, funny enough, here we are, like, 20 years later, and EverQuest is still going strong with 23 expansions, but it's never gotten back to what it was. It just has never gotten back to what it was. And on top of that, ArenaNet, a while back, a couple years ago, they canceled all other projects other than Guild Wars 2. Now, that's good for us as fans of Guild Wars 2 because that means that more attention is being devoted to the game that we love. It is scary for them as a company because all their eggs are in one basket. Like, there was like a mobile game, there was rumors of a mobile game that was canceled, and well, we all laugh at mobile games, but my God, they are profitable. They could have possibly gotten so much money off of that. They've canceled so many other things. They're entirely invested in Guild Wars 2. Like, Guild Wars 2 pays all their bills right now. If they announce a Guild Wars 3 and they do it and they're not very careful, they would lose a bunch of Guild Wars 2 players who think, well, oh, why should I play this? There's a new one about to come out. And their income would tank. They would absolutely shoot themselves in the foot. They could ruin their only source of income by announcing Guild Wars 3 in anything but the most delicate of ways. The only way I can think of announcing Guild Wars 3 and not losing or minimizing the damage that would do to their Guild Wars 2 player base would be similar to the Guild Wars 1 Hall of Monuments system, but it would have to be a whole lot better for people to care. For those who don't know, Guild Wars 1, certain achievements you earn would get you rewards in Guild Wars 2. And you can carry those over. So you don't feel so much of like, oh, all my time in Guild Wars 1 was wasted. Or, because people forget that they had fun. The forbidden F word on the internet. But they get all these achievements, then they get these unlocks in Guild Wars 2, titles and cosmetic stuff, ranger pets and all kinds of weird stuff. And, if you can do an improved version of that, to be like, Guild Wars 3 is coming out, but don't worry, your adventures in Guild Wars 2 aren't wasted. For every X achievement points, you get to start with this boost or I don't know, something in Guild Wars 3. And then people are like, oh, well, I'm not wasting my time playing GW2 until the third one comes out. They'd have to carefully announce that. And while I love ArenaNet, they're not known for making tactful announcements. They're not known for that. So, again, it's with what developers would they do it? They canceled all other projects and went all in on Guild Wars 2 a few years ago. I think they've recently laid off more people. What was it? Because we were actually just reading about this recently. NC Soft West reportedly laid off 20% of its staff, and this was last month. Now, they said it was non-developers, and it should not have any impact on... now, this is NC Soft West, so this might be including ArenaNet and also some of the other companies. And this was right after they did the financial report for its fourth quarter. So I don't think anything... 20% of staff is one person. No, they have more than 5 people, Cerberus. 20% of staff is not one person. Anyway, so there's this article, and I'll link this in the description as well. But I don't think they have the staff to be pumping out another MMO unless it's one guy chained to a wall at a garage, and he's just got like a fountain of Red Bull, and they're just checking on him in 20 years. I don't think they have the staff for it. If they announce Guild Wars 2 wrong, they would just... You lose a ton of their player base. Or sorry, if they announce Guild Wars 3 wrong, they'd lose a ton of their Guild Wars 2 player base, and their income would plummet as a result of it, because all of their income right now is just Guild Wars 2. So that's it. That's it. Again, I saw what happened to EverQuest, and I feel like they would just do that again if they announce that wrong. So I don't see it happening. Now, those are all the hard reasons I don't see it coming. I also, just on top of that, I can't think of what I would want Guild Wars 3 to have that Guild Wars 2 doesn't already have. Like, the only thing I would want Guild Wars 2 to have to be a more perfect game is just more consistent updates. Like, a team handling bugs more frequently. A team handling balance more frequently. But the game is fantastic. Like, I don't think Guild Wars 3 and Unreal Engine 5 or whatever is really just a selling point on its own. But that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion on that. But anyway, that's it. That's it. There we go. So, do I think Guild Wars 3 is happening? No, and those are the reasons why. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.